I'm Michael Hewitt, and this is 6 lessons learned in 6 months in sales. Lesson number 1, no action without intention. Know who you're calling, know what you're calling about, know what your goal is for that call. You're going into a discovery call. All right, thank God. The phone call went well, right? So now you're in a discovery call. Know who you're meeting with, know why you're meeting. Know, when to ask questions, when not to ask questions. Know when to listen. We have 2 ears, 1 mouth, so act accordingly. Know what next steps look like for you at that call, or even anything that you are doing that doesn't require interacting with other people. When every single action that you are taking has intention behind it, you're going to be maximally efficient, maximally productive. You're going to get the most done with the least amount of busy work. Making sure that every action that you take has intention behind it, you're only focusing on the needle moving activities. It's super easy to get bogged down in stuff that feels busy. So by making sure that every action is backed up by specific intention, we can make sure that we're maximally productive. Number 2, get off the script. The script doesn't really take into account what information you are going to be receiving. We don't know what the other person or other parties are going to say. And if we're operating off of a script, that assumes that we know the answer to the question, why even bother having a conversation? So the way to get off of the script is to make sure that you master your product knowledge, you master your company's messaging, and you really have a solid understanding of not just your company, but the space that you are in. What this is going to allow for is for you just to be able to have a real conversation that is relevant. That's how you're going to learn things. That's how you're going to add value. That's how you're going to uncover the stuff that you need to uncover. Lesson number 3, find joy in the process. Choosing joy over stress, right? Bringing joy to the process. It makes everything else that I do a lot more fun, a lot more productive, and a lot more sustainable. I try to look for a learning experience in every single task so that way I am actively extracting a lesson and then build brick by brick on that. And ultimately what it does is it creates a big positive feedback loop. Lesson number 4, always be setting PRs, and everything that gets measured can be managed. So if I have a desired outcome, right, which is to close, X amount of dollars, and then I get this total picture of the data of everything that I've been doing and everything that I haven't been doing, then I can say, okay, what do I need to focus on in here to increase what I want over here? And so initially what I identified this as was that's really meetings. If I can have more meetings, then I have more at-bats. I'm gonna get more meetings if I make more phone calls. I'm gonna call until I get 2 meetings booked today. What that led to was when I was reviewing how many calls did I make today, I had made over 100 calls, and that was a big PR for me, a huge moment. I realized, oh, I've got way more capacity than I thought that I did. So you can set a PR that way, but then you can also set a PR in a less quantitative way. You can set a PR in terms of how thorough of a job you thought that you did in your call. You can set a PR in your forecasting quality and accuracy. You can set a PR in overcoming objections at any stage. There's PRs everywhere, and it's part of the fun to be on the lookout for them and do what needs to get done in order to hit them. Lesson number 5, you can't prioritize unless you organize. How are we going to decide what actions we take? How are we going to decide what the intentions are unless we have prioritized what's important to us in a given day, in a given week, in a given month, in a quarter, in a year? Live in the future. The actions that we are taking today are going to dictate the opportunities that we have in the future. Lesson number 6, it ain't over till it's over. The quarter is not done until midnight on the last day of the quarter. You're not done cold calling until 5 p.m. It's buzzer to buzzer, right? 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Those are my available calling times. If you have failed to book a meeting and it's 4:55, get your phone out. This lesson was burned into my brain because at 4:56 on a Friday afternoon, I called somebody up and they said, man, every single vendor keeps on calling me. If I answered every call, it'd be a full-time job, but my CEO was just talking to me about your company. I saw you guys come up on my caller ID and I answered. And then he basically just gave me an entire discovery call right there on the cold call. No questions asked, no anything. He just launched right into it. And that only comes if you are playing buzzer to buzzer. So that is 6 lessons learned in 6 months in sales. I hope that's valuable. Those are not the only 6 lessons that I learned. Again, I learn about 6 probably every hour. But those are just the 6 that are feeling the most relevant and shareable for me right now. The 6 that walking into my job, I would have liked to have been handed a booklet and said, hey, this is going to be really important for you, young buck. So study accordingly and act accordingly. But hey, I'm looking forward to the next 6 months. I'm looking forward to even more lessons. I'm looking forward to distilling them and sharing them.